My dear students, this is Deepak Kumar. Today, I shall be taking up a very important chapter. The name of the chapter is The Ailing Planet, the Green Movement's Role, that is written by Nani Palkhiwala. The following article was written by Nani Palkhiwala and published in the Indian Express on 24th November 1994. The issues that he raised regarding the declining health of the earth continue to have relevance. So before I start, let me tell about some of the expressions that are used in the text. You need to infer their meanings from the context. Once you read the text, you will have to find out the meaning of these words. A holistic and ecological view, sustainable development, languish, ignominious darkness, inter alia, decimated, catastrophic depletion, transcending concern. Let me give you a hint. I will be telling you meaning of some of the expressions. I will not tell you all the expressions, right? You will have to take the help from OALD, that stands for Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary, and then you can easily understand. So when we are talking about holistic is of or relating to holism. Holistic ecology views humans and the environment as a single system. Talking about ecological is of or relating to the environments of living things or to the relationships between living things and their environments. And the next is inter alia. Inter alia means among other things. This is a Latin word, inter alia, among other things. Then the word is decimated. Decimated means to reduce drastically, especially in number. One example is cholera decimated the population. The next is ignominious. Ignominious, that is marked with or characterized by disgrace or shame. Dishonorable, you can say. Despicable behavior. Okay, my dear students, let's start the topic. As I have already said you that the following article was originally published in the Indian Express on 24th November 1994 and is written by Nani Palkhiwala. Right. So let's start. One cannot recall any movement in the world history which has gripped the imagination of the entire human race so completely and so rapidly as the Green Movement, which started nearly 25 years ago. So here Nani Palkhiwala commences the article by talking about the importance of the movement, importance of the Green Movement, and that gripped the imagination of the entire human race. Right. In 1972, the world's first nationwide Green Party was founded in New Zealand. Since then, the movement has not looked back. Means the movement, the progress has never deteriorated. It progressed from that date, from that year. We have shifted. One hopes irrevocably. Irrevocably means it cannot be changed or reversed. One hopes irrevocably from the mechanistic view to a holistic and ecological view. I have already told you the meaning of holistic and ecological view, that is of or relating to the environments of living things or the relationship between living things and their environments. So, from the mechanistic view to a holistic and ecological view of the world, it is a shift in human perceptions as revolutionary as that introduced by Copernicus, who taught mankind in the 16th century that the earth and the other planets revolved around the sun. So here the writer Nani Palkhiwala talks about the revolutionary, it is the revolutionary idea. The Green Movement was a revolutionary idea. It changed the perception of the human. In the same way, in order to compare about its extent, he says that at that point of time when Copernicus discovered that the whole planet revolves around the sun, at that point of time that was a very revolutionary idea. In the same way, this is a very revolutionary idea when we started talking about a holistic and ecological view of the world, right? So, by Copernicus, who taught mankind in the 16th century that the earth and the other planets revolved around the sun. For the first time in human history, there is a growing worldwide consciousness that the earth itself is a living organism. For the first time, because of this movement, the Green Movement, the title suggests the Green Movement's role. So because of this Green Movement, for the first time in the history, There is a growing worldwide consciousness that the earth itself is a living organism, an enormous being, a huge being of which we are parts. It has its own metabolic needs and vital processes which need to be respected and preserved. The earth's vital signs reveal a patient in declining health. If you talk about the writer next starts talking about the earth's sign, and he says that the earth's vital signs reveal a patient in declining health. We have begun to realize our ethical obligations to be good stewards of the planet and responsible trustees of the legacy of future generations. That, of course, for the first time in history, we realize that the earth is is like a human being, as we all need care, protection. In the same way, our mother planet also needs protection. Mother Earth also needs protection. The next concept that is discussed by the writer in his famous article is the concept of sustainable development. And I hope, my dear students, you must have studied about sustainable development in your social science classes. So the concept of sustainable development was popularized in 1987 by the World Commission on Environment and Development. In its report, it defined the idea of as a development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their needs. That is, stop indiscriminately using the resources present in this planet without stripping the natural world of resources future generations would need. Using the resources intelligently so that in the coming future generations should not lack these resources. A very peculiar incident is explained here in the next paragraph regarding a zoo. In the zoo at Lusaka, Zambia, there is a cage where the notice reads, "The world's most dangerous animal." Inside the cage, there is no animal but a mirror where you see yourself. So what it represents? It represents the world's most dangerous animal is human being, because we are trying to destroy the planet. Thanks to the efforts of a number of agencies in different countries, a new awareness has now dawned upon the most dangerous animal in the world. He has realized the wisdom of shifting from a system based on domination to one based on partnership. Now, thanks to the movement and thanks to all the national and international organizations that are working to instill the value of sustainable development in human. Scientists have catalogued about 1.4 million living species with which mankind shares the earth. Estimates vary widely as regards the still uncatalogued living species. Biologists reckon that about 3 to 100 million other living species still languish unnamed in ignominious darkness. So, my dear students, you can imagine that scientists have catalogued about 1.4 million living species with which mankind shares the earth. What we are thinking as a human being, as the most intelligent creature on this planet. We are the most intelligent creature on this planet. We have invented so many machines, so many guns, destructive materials, as well as constructive materials as well. Right. And we are thinking that we all are brilliant and we all have brilliant minds, we all are intelligent, and we are living on the planet alone. But sorry to say, scientists have explained and they catalogued about more than 1.4 million living species with which mankind shares the earth. So, dear human, don't think that you are the only inhabitant on this planet, so you can use the resources whichever way you want. One of the early international commissions which dealt inter alia with the question of ecology and environment was the Branded Commission, which had a distinguished Indian as one of its members, Mr. L.K. Jha. Now we'll talk about the Branded Commission. The first Branded report raised the question, are we to leave our successors a scorched planet of advancing deserts, impoverished landscapes, and ailing environment? So one of the most distinguished Indian member of that Branded Commission, Mr. L.K. Jha, raised a question that are we leave our successors a burned planet of advancing deserts, destroyed landscapes, and ailing environment? Mr. Lester R. Brown, in his thoughtful book, The Global Economic Prospect. Mr. Brown, in his thoughtful book, The Global Economic Prospect, points out that the Earth's principal biological systems are four. He talked about the four principal biological systems in his famous book, The Global Economic Prospect. He talks about fisheries, forests, grasslands, and croplands, and they form the foundation of the global economic system. In addition to supplying our food, these four systems provide virtually all the raw materials for industry, except minerals and petroleum-derived synthetics. My dear students, I will stop here because if I will make a longer video, you may lose your interest. So in the next audio content that I will deliver to you, I'll be explaining the remaining part of this chapter, and meanwhile I request all of you to read the chapter twice or 3 times and find out the meaning of difficult words. Okay? Make notes in your notebook so that once you start writing the answers, you can frame your answers in a very beautiful way. Right, my dear students? I hope you will go through the text and you will listen to the audio as well. Thank you, my dear students.